Now we're going to deal with the second family in the suborder Carnivora, and this is actually it's a different superfamily too, the so-called arctoid carnivores. It's the superfamily Arctoideae. Previously we looked at the superfamily Canoidea, the dog, the superfamily that contains the dogs. Here, though, the Arctoidea includes the bears in the family Ursidae, and then it includes what we call the musteloid carnivores, and there's three families of those. There's the skunks, which we'll come to next, the Mephitidae, the Mustelidae, the weasel family, but there's a lot more than just weasels in there, and the raccoon family, the Procyon. The one family that we're not dealing with in this lab, amongst the Carnivora, is the Ursidae, which are also in the Musteloidea. They're the Ursidae are the red pandas, beautiful animals. We don't have any specimens here, but if any of you are going to by Sacramento Zoo anytime, they have red pandas at Sacramento Zoo. Here for the bear family, we have it's the family Ursidae, of course. There are only 8 species of bears worldwide, and but we've got specimens. We've got actual skulls here from 2 of them. One that you're probably familiar with is Ursus americanus. Maybe some of you have even seen them in Yosemite or elsewhere. They're really common throughout California, and they're sometimes called the black bear, but they can be in a variety of different colors, and they vary in size too. Some people don't think they're that dangerous, by comparison with brown bears. Brown bears and grizzly bears are the same thing. But Ursus americanus, if with cubs and so on, can be formidable and really dangerous, and they vary quite a bit in size. But this is a skull here from a female American bear or black bear. It's judging by the amount of wear that's on the teeth, is a fairly old individual. You can see the canines are very worn down. Well, actually, those are not canines; those are the caniniform incisors. But the canines are gone from this specimen. But you can see on the molars too, and they don't have the usual type of carnassials that you see in carnivores, because bears are highly omnivorous. I mean, they will eat everything from carrion to berries to earthworms to they will prey on animals if they can catch them, like if they can catch a baby fawn, for example, or something like that. So this is the American bear. It's a fairly formidable skull, a heavyweight skull. Let's look at even more so the lower jaw. Look at the lower jaw here, it's really heavy. Now, the other thing too, earlier I talked about the movement of the lower jaw. And in carnivores, there's not so much movement, especially those that are true carnivores. Well, bears do not have as rigid a lower jaw or a jaw articulation as cats and dogs and some other carnivores do, and this is associated with their omnivorous diet. So there's a little bit of lateral movement in the jaw, a little more so than you see in the cats. So this is the American bear. Notice there is some development of a sagittal crest here. It'd be more pronounced, I think, in a male, but this is your typical black bear or American bear, Ursus americanus. Now let's look at something really formidable, and this is Ursus arctos. This is a brown bear. Look at the size of this. To fit all of this, much larger, very pronounced sagittal crest on the rear of the skull here. This animal was shot in Alaska in 1966. It's a male bear. It weighed 710 pounds, was 6 foot 1 inches in height. An Alaskan brown bear, Ursus arctos. No. Okay, so this one is, I imagine the jaw was damaged when it was mounted because the jaw is fused together, which is terrible. I'd rather have we could disarticulate this lower jaw, but the lower jaw is cemented, and it's made to look more fearsome by having the mouth open, which is kind of unfortunate. But this animal was in its prime. Look at those teeth. Look at those molar teeth. Now, notice again they don't have carnassials. These are true omnivores. Don't confuse these bear skulls with the sea lion skulls, which you're going to see in one of the next videos. These are the biggest carnivores that you'll be dealing with, but some of the seal and sea lion skulls are pretty big as well. One other feature about bear skulls is the last molar on the upper jaw is very elongate, and you can see that here. That's the last molar here. This thing is over an inch long. Look at these for big grinding teeth. This animal was in its prime. This was a relatively young animal. It was over 700 pounds. Can you imagine? Very impressive. So, again, big sagittal crest here. Large canines. Catching prey. And notice also they've got this caniniform incisor here. And these are kind of sharp looking too. But these are for holding on to prey when they're, let's say it's a young elk or something, or a young bison. Well, not in Alaska, but you know, a lot of brown bears in Alaska feed on salmon, but they feed on lots of other things too. They'll feed on salmon when they're available. Okay, I'm going to look at another family on this same video right now, and that is because there are only 2 species to show you with us, and these are skunks. Okay. This is the striped skunk, Mephitidae. Striped skunk, I'm sure many of you have seen them. They're in their own family, the family Mephitidae. And the spotted skunk, Spilogale gracilis. It's pretty easy to tell the two apart. Spilogale is a lot smaller. I've encountered both of these animals in the field when they sometimes have gotten caught in traps that I've been using to capture other animals like wood rats and so on. And I've gotten sprayed by them too, even trying not to. And I can tell you, not only does it smell bad, but it stinks. It stings. So I'm going to take a quick look at the skull here of this animal. We don't have a real skull, unfortunately, of either skunk, but we do have a model of a striped skunk skull. So you'll notice the skull is a little more elongate, but it's they've got carnassials, but they also have large, well-developed molariform teeth behind the carnassial. You see this? So skunks are well-known omnivores. They pretty much eat anything. You know, they'll take birds' eggs and they'll take young from a nest if they find them, but they're not typically known as ferocious predators, unless you're a nestling, I imagine. But so they'll eat earthworms, they'll eat invertebrates, they'll eat a whole variety of different things. Here again, you'll see there's a sagittal crest on the back of the skull, and there's crests as well around the rear of the skull. So they're pretty distinctive. Although, when we look at some of the mustelid skulls, you'll see some similarities with those as well. Okay. And also, well, you can see the articulation surface of the lower jaw, but this is the left lower jaw. So these are the skunks. Striped skunk, Mephitidae, and the spotted skunk, Spilogale gracilis. I've always thought spotted skunks are amazing looking animals. They do an amazing dance as well. So, okay, that's two more families of caniform carnivores that we've dealt with. We've dealt with the Ursidae and the family Mephitidae. Now I'm going to move on to the Mustelidae. Fascinating family.